Do anybody make real shit anymore?
Put the word on the flam, or get kept, I just toss that ham in the frying pan. I stand and done when I come and slam. Yeah, I feel like the son of Sam. Don't make me wet. Stick the check, got me going like General Electric. And the lights are blinking. I'm thinking it's all over when I go out drinking. Oh, making my mind slow. That's why I don't with the big ball. So I got to maintain, cause it's like me, it's going insane.
Man, that intro does hype me up too. Shout out to you, Tony. Welcome back. Sorry about that. Totally get my live crash because I got an emergency message about the curfew being what's the word, turned off, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to blank here, people. My apologies to you. But yeah. So as you guys saw in the title, the whole point of this live is because I want to talk about how the Republicans are trying to change the narrative. Look, they're trying to say that this whole protest that we're all having here is all because Democrats are paying for it, because Democrats are pushing for it. Democrats are using us as a tool to mess with the Republicans. We're not. I'm not a Democrat. None of us are Democrats out here. At this point, everybody here in LA realizes that Democrats are trash, which is bullshit. That all these Republicans are trying to make it seem like the Democrats made it happen. They're funding these protests. Nobody gave me no goddamn money. Some bullshit. Call BS on that one. Because not one single person has said, you know what, thanks for coming by the protest. Here's $200 for your time. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that'd be nice if somebody tossed a 200 bucks out there. Lada says, they letting you all after 10 p.m. now. For reals. No. They dropped they dropped it completely. It was 10 p.m. yesterday. Yesterday they let us out until 10 p.m. We were allowed to go out at 10 p.m. But today they lifted the curfew completely. So we get to free 24 hours a day again. We got our freedom back. Sapai says they got that determined ignorance. Yeah. But yeah, and that's what I hate, I see all these podcasters, they're doing the same thing. They're saying no, the Democrats are behind all this, they're funding them. I'm like, where? Who's getting paid? If I went there, not one person offered me $1. And I'm hearing this on the news, on these podcasts. I'm like, where are you guys getting your info? Who's getting paid? I'm gonna be pissed if I find out people around me were getting paid. Here I am doing on my own moral judgment, my own morals, protesting for injustice. And these Republicans are here saying that we're getting paid. I'm like, nobody's paying me. I mean, it'd be nice if you got paid to protest, but as far as I know, nobody around me was getting paid. Everybody was there voluntarily. But these guys are saying people are getting the Democrats paid. They didn't pay shit. And again, I want to say, anybody in LA that's raza at this point, the majority of us already know the Democrats don't help us. We don't vote for them. They just have so much money that they can stay in power here. I saw they get the signatures. They pay people to go out there and get signatures so they could be put on the ballot. And then they could rig it. They could win. Nobody here likes Democrats. I don't like that. I haven't liked Democrats since 2008. Maybe 2005. Right? 2005. I haven't liked Democrats. I learned a long time ago that these people are not here to help us. And then the Republicans messed it all up because they wanted to be racist. They should have kept that one in the closet. and they kept that one in the closet, they probably would still be in power. But they wanted to be racist, and they thought they could get away with it. And the Mexicans taught them why they shouldn't be racist. And that might be happening again. You know, it's it makes me nervous. The activities I've been seeing lately on social media, where these ICE these ICE agents they're getting more aggressive as far as snatching up people. They're getting so aggressive that they only see brown. They got a new motto. If it's brown, snatch it. If it's brown, snatch it, because that's what they're doing. They're snatching us up. Snatch first, ask questions later. We've already had cases where they're are trying to arrest U.S. citizens for the fact that they're brown, for the fact that because they're brown, they can't identify them, they automatically put them in handcuffs. That is illegal. That's 100% illegal. You can't cuff up somebody on a hunch, because at the end of the day, this is still America, and it does still have rules on how to arrest somebody, and you can't arrest anybody on a hunch. You gotta have proof. You gotta have evidence, because as soon as you go to court, as soon as they take you to court and you tell the judge, "Oh, well, I have no evidence, Your Honor. I just felt like he was illegal," they're gonna set that person free. And you know what? For the most part, if he is illegal, after that case, he'll probably get his papers. Maybe. Especially if they roughed him up. But in any case, cops need evidence. And these ICE agents, they're not going off of evidence. They're just grabbing people. And that's just not cool. That's just not cool. And I don't know if you guys caught that part where I was talking about how these podcasters, I'm very happy to hear that a lot of these podcasters are eating their words and asking for forgiveness for pushing the narrative of that they should all be voting for Trump. I'm glad that they got the balls to actually go out there on their platforms and say, "People, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I just thought they were going to go after criminals." No, they didn't. Anybody that knows politicians knew exactly who they were going to go after. There's only a handful of serious illegal immigrants in this country. Once you grab that handful, you're going to have to meet a quota. And you're going to have to find other immigrants. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's a manhunt. You know, you have bounty hunters that supposedly are saying that the government is offering them $1,000 a piece to find one. Each head they get is $1,000. I'm like, fuck. Our people have become the hunted, and it's crazy because they somehow, some way, made it legal for humans to hunt other humans. It's the most dangerous game. Let's see. Lattice says, not Democrat, but various socialist shit starters are funding the chaos. The rioting isn't helping the protest. And for the most part, you're right, Lattice. I don't like when they're like these people that are taking advantage of the moment to create some sort of chaos so it can feed the narrative. Like, look, on Sunday, the entire protest was peaceful. Up until, excuse me, up until LAPD decided they wanted to use their horses to push people away. You know, they could have just said, "All right, every party's over, guys. Time to get out of here. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here." But no, instead, they decided to use their horses, start tossing the tear gas, and create the scene that the Republicans were waiting for. As soon as that scene happened, I think every Republican jizzed themselves. for the fact that they finally got the shot that they've been waiting for. A shot where you see protesters looking like they're creating chaos and fighting the LAPD, when in fact it was the other way around. It was the LAPD creating the aggression towards the protesters. Because for the most part, anybody can see the footage before that happened, that these people were just protesting peacefully, chanting, dancing, singing, you know, the way a protest should be. Very much a community. Let's see. Zapata View says, like they used to do Indigenous Scout for money. Yeah, that part right there. That part right there. Yeah. And when you see these guys, they're like super happy to hunt these people down. Let's see. Lattice says, turnout money of these people riding aren't even locals. They're being shifted. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Some of them look weird. Some of them look odd. That from what I've seen from, and I was there for the Sunday protest. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There were youngins that were definitely acting out. But again, I'm not making excuses for those youngins. You know, they were misbehaving, but at the same time, I did see older people getting at them and guiding them, because that's the thing. Young people, you got all these hormones going in them, and they want to prove themselves that they can fight, like literally fight, and they act out. But then you have these other adults that have Molotovs, that have rocks, that have bricks, with the intent to create some sort of chaos, and that for the most part is wrong. But I could definitely say these people were not part of the protests. Shout out to HCP Chemistry. But for the most part, again, going back to those podcasters that are Republican, I'm glad some of them are definitely, eating their words and apologizing. I mean, the apology is a little bit too late, but for the most part, stay on it. Don't go back to saying, you know what, never mind. I think Trump's an okay guy. Because so far, as far as I know, he hasn't fulfilled any of the promises he's made. I mean, you guys correct me if I'm wrong in that one, but as far as I know, he has not fulfilled any of the promises. Let's see. The 1818 says, Norbies, are you aware of the video of Nada and Adam 22 going around? I think, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm not. Adam 22, I don't know. That guy actually surprised me, because you would think the one white guy that is using all these two races, and that had actual racist people on his show, would be with the government. But who knows with that guy? Maybe that's his angle. Let me side with them, so they could keep coming on my show. They see I'm supporting, and then at the same time, I'll create haters, and we'll start this a whole dance all over again. Risky Business says the Mexican people shouldn't be in the same conversation with other undocumented people. No other people have same ties and history. But for the most part, you're right. You're right, Risky. And I say this because I said it before. A lot of people need to understand that there's two different types of Mexicans. Okay, you know what? Let me take it one more step up. There's three types of Mexicans. There's the indigenous Mexicans, but they're for the most part over 90% indigenous, which there are a lot of them. Don't let the census and the government of Mexico fool you and make it seem like there's a handful of them out there. No, there's a lot of them out there. Then you have the mix. You have the ones that have indigenous and have Spanish or French or German. You have those people that are known as the mestizos. They're the mix, where they could land either way. They could either land in their indigenous side or they could learn into their European side. And then you have the Spanish side, where they make sure that they keep their families from Mexico generation after generation Spanish. No mixture of the blood. You could have kids with a German girl, a German Mexican, or a French Mexicans, but you don't mess around with indigenous women. And those are gonna be the really light skinned Mexicans. The ones that like, wow, yeah. How are you Mexican? You look like a white guy. Those are those guys. I know those are the guys that are mostly the ones that are talking the most shit about illegals and not being allowed to be here. And I don't blame them. Look, I mean, look who's hating on the brown people here. It's the same people. Same people. You know, they all come from Europe. They're all from there, and they all hate brown people. And you know, for the most part, I get it. I get it because they know that if all you brown motherfuckers get together, you guys are gonna eventually have power, more power than them, and then they're gonna have to let go of a lot of things that they don't want to let go of, and they need to postpone that time as much as possible by way of either getting them all sick, by putting them in jail, by not letting them have babies, or by deporting them, even if they are from here. And then this is the part that people got to figure out. The Mexican ones are the same ones. They feel the exact same way about the brown people. They don't want these brown people getting together, unifying. Because if they do that, then they're gonna take Mexico also. They're already taking Mexico. Not that they're gonna, they already are taking back Mexico. You're gonna see more indigenous leaders in Mexico. You're gonna see more laws change to benefit the indigenous. Because at the end of the day, our population is now at a point where we can overtake their population. And it's been a long time coming. I mean that literally. We have to have a lot of babies for us to reach this point. That's why I tell you guys, keep having babies. Don't stop. Let's see. Central Cal says, I still FW Trump. And that's your prerogative, man. That's your prerogative. But, you know, you better hope your job is not on that big, beautiful bill. Because if it is, you're probably not going to F with him anymore. And I say that because most people don't know on the big, beautiful bill that he put out, he's allowing for the use of automation in factories. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but that means he's going to, all the machines that have been on hold for the last, I don't know, 5, 10 years, they're all going to get turned on. And a lot of people are going to get fired. A lot of people. They're going to lose their jobs because of automation. Because at the end of the day, automation doesn't ask for a day off. It doesn't ask for a vacation. You know, it doesn't ask for a raise. It just does what it's told to do, and it does it more efficiently than a human. And that, my friend, is on the big, beautiful bill where Trump is approving the use of it. When so many unions have fought hard to make sure that doesn't happen. Aside from that, he's also approving a budget for a new agency to start implementing the use of AI in the workforce. So let me tell you, you better hope you don't have a job that AI can take over. Because if you do, start saving up your money, start thinking of a career that AI or automation cannot take away from you. HCP Chemistry said none of these Republican podcasters who put videos out haven't talked about the parade and the protest on the same day. Interesting. The 1A1A says, Norby, are you aware of the sexual video going around Negative and Adam 22? I think they finally got tired of LA Gay Guy. Is that a fact? Holy crap. I don't know. Central Cal says, sorry. Jesus, man. You're no better. Well, I mean, that you're a Central Cal. You are free to express yourself however you want. Diego Vargas says facts. Via Zapata says those culeros should be deported. Yeah, for the most part. Okay, pues says, what does Trump mean? Protesters are being funded by unknowns, and that's what I don't. That's what I was saying. Like, who's funding them? I went there volunteer. A lot of people I know went there volunteer. Not one person that I know got paid. Because if somebody was giving out checks out there, I would like to know because they owe me money. Here I am doing it for free out of the kindness of my heart because I hate injustice. Carlos, I'm from Spain. All right, well, hey, Carlos, that's beautiful. I'm glad that you are from Spain. Let's see. Risky business says, nah, don't separate Mexico. Separate Mexico as a whole from other undocumented countries. Well, no, I was breaking down Mexico as far as who's there. Who's there? That's pretty much what it is. As far as undocumented, well, I mean, what can you say? Risky, you and I both know you can agree to this also because it's true. There are undocumented people in Mexico also. Carter says, no diddy. Miss Gangsta Piggy said, long time coming. That's right. Bugsy Raider, saludos to you. Let's see. Pues says, Trump said, I'm fly till I die. I wouldn't get it past him. Carlos says, I like the big, beautiful bill. Well, you know what? And that's the thing about bills. You'll like some of it, and then you'll hate some of it. And for the most part, if there's a job that an automation can do, you're not gonna like that bill. The Port House Browns. I see where you're going with this about the. Car says I'm calling ice on the lady at Jack in the Box because they forgot my curly fries. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody does do that. Everything says I hope AI takes all jobs. I mean, it's probably I've said this before. I think we're really headed closer to that Star Trek time where we're gonna have technology do everything, and all that's left is to explore. So I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind getting us on a spaceship and fly right under the what do you call it? I'm horrible. I'm forgetting words here. But fly under the dome is what I was trying to say. Oh shit, Brad Pitt's in the house. That's right. Alfred, is this live? Yes, it is live. Thank you for asking, Alfred. Let's see. Narby Brad Pitt says, Narby, send me some bitcoins or I'm giving ICE your location. Nobody's ever getting my bitcoins. They're there until everything disappears. Pues says, what kind of water are you buying? Niagara is cheap, but it tastes like dirt. When I buy water, I buy any water with minerals or with a somewhat high pH balance. For the most part, I go for the pH balance because that is what is known as as active water. Like it's actually there's actual movement in there because of the electrons. And then you have like water like Avion where you have minerals in it, minerals that also create a high pH balance. For the most part, your body absorbs that water and keeps it in your body longer. Whereas regular tap water that has nothing in it, that is just a liquid with no minerals or anything in it. Like but it just goes right through your body. Ah, snap! El boo boo's here. What's up, man? It's good to see you. Fuck your feelings. Is I heard that he's fucking with EBT and Section 8. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, those programs should be intended to be temporary, though. You know, nobody should stay on that forever. But then again, I'm not gonna lie. Right now, rent is super high, and if you could get Section 8 and pay a two-bedroom apartment for $800 in LA, uh, I might just choose to stay poor. ACP Chemistry says, Norbert, you don't know what you're talking about with electronics. What do you mean? ACP, clarify with that one, please. Uh, Lara says, Cali Foods choose water like they're buying douche. Ah, somebody told me that. Oh, yeah, it was TC, the G that said douche is not good for you, for women. That was interesting. Steel Defense says, Norby, don't let them get to your pot of your bitcoins, Leprechaun Live. All love, miss the show. Thank you, man. Appreciate you for that. Mixcaster Piggy says 8. Car says, oh, if all immigrants get deported, will rent prices go down? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. And I say this because maybe like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I saw a news report in the LA Times that said that Los Angeles County has over $3 million. I'm sorry, 3 million vacant apartments. 3 million vacant apartments. That's a lot of apartments that aren't getting rented out because of the high rent. ACP Chemistry says, I meant to say you don't know what you are talking about when it comes to electrons or water. Ah, okay, okay, all right. Okay, you know what? Considering the fact that ACP Chemistry is a chemist, if you could enlighten us on how the effects of pH balance and water affects humans, please educate us on the chat. Much appreciated. Risky Businesses has Lattes apologized for voting for Trump, or is he low key reporting? Lassa? Hey, wait. As far as I know, Jay, you're from West Texas, and Lattes. Are you also from West Texas? Oh, you're Southwest Texas. I already forgot. My bad. Estilo Delfino says, "Learn us something, Norbies." Every feeling says, "How many people do you think are going to get deported in total?" You know what? Based on Trump's record from his past and what we're looking at right now, I mean, as much as people want to think he's rounding up thousands and thousands per day, it's really hard to tell because these guys are going at it like ninjas. They're just going in really quickly, snatching and going. But there's only so much they can do with these vehicles. They eventually got to get oil changes. They eventually got to they got to get fueled up, you know. And then you have the public that is constantly watching for where they are to stop them and keep them from doing it. Ah, yes, okay. Is from West Texas and Jay is from South Texas. Thank you for that correction. All right, well now we know. Star Wanderer says Democrats let them all in for their narrative. But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that how is it that these Republicans can blatantly lie to the public and say not only but the Republicans but these podcasters that are saying no, the Democrats are funding those protests. They're the ones paying these people to do all this protesting. They're getting used by the Democrats. Bitch, ain't nobody using us, especially the Democrats. Everybody I know that raza, Chicano, Mexican here in LA, we all hate Democrats. But to be fair, we all hate Republicans the same way. Every Freely says, are they raiding public places or workplaces also? Yes, they're raiding gyms. They're raiding grocery stores. They're raiding Home Depots. They're raiding car washes. They're raiding anybody. They're raiding any places where they know there'll be a concentration of possible illegal immigrants in their eyes. All right, all right. HCP chemistry says pH is the concentration log of hydrogen, and if there's too much, the water becomes acid and it will dissolve calcium. All right, HCP chemistry. If you could tell us what would be the most beneficial pH of water that we should be drinking, that would be appreciated. Norby says, Brad People says Norby pulls up to Santa Fe swap meet and yells, car wash. Wells, wash my car. I'm calling nice. All right, as many of you guys know that Santa Fe Springs swap meet, yeah, they're getting a very bad rap right now, especially because apparently they let ICE in and they didn't even tell anybody and they just let it happen. Oh yeah, Boo Boo, you're right. They are raiding churches also. Brad People says Norby's using ICE to tax the vendors at Alameda swap meet. Okay, here's the answer, guys. ACP chemistry says high pH is basic and it won't dissolve calcium if the pH is above 8. So, what he's saying that if you're buying water bottles, it should have a pH balance of above 8. Is that right, ACP chemistry? Let us know in the chat. And for the most part, I think if you do drink that type of water and you consistently drink it, I feel like you're definitely gonna feel a difference within a week. You're gonna be like, oh wow, this water stuff really does work. Zapata View says, pilgrims and their sympathizers, KKK, conveniently forgot their real illegals arrived in 1492. That is facts right there. If your feeling says, do you think these deportations are in some way good for California? No, no, they're destroying California right now. This state literally runs on the backs of immigrants. Risky says, fools that get a tax return check don't get to complain about anything, especially about Rasa that do pay taxes. That is facts. Rasa does pay taxes. Lara says, I hope they took all the bad dancers from Santa. Damn, Lattice. If any can answer, are you going to celebrate 4th of July? Uh, Actually, you know what? For the most part, I don't. I mean, I don't, and at the same time, I do because my whole neighborhood gets lit up, so you can't really get away from it. I mean, you could leave, but I did that once. I went to like the beach. Pilgrims and their sympathy. Okay, no, I read that one. Miss Gangsta Piggy says, I've been telling him some Latina broke Trump's heart. That's why he has such a hard on for Get Back. I heard it was Sama. Hey, you know what? You never know. You just never know. I wouldn't get it past it. I've been saying that a lot of these güeros out here, they feel it was a little too hurt. A little too hurt. Let's see. How you fools are telling their vatos put a ring on it or I'm calling nice. Damn. You know what? If you know somebody that has a chick that probably doesn't have papers, tell that dude to do her a favor and marry her already. If not for love, at least so she can stick around. All right, guys. Well, I'm here where I'm supposed to be at, and I'm gonna be at Marvelous Minds tonight. So I'm gonna go and set up. Hopefully, I could get everything on time, and the phones will work. And Brad Pippen, I'll try not to drop your call. So join us there, 8 o'clock, maybe a little bit sooner if I get done. But I will be there, and we're gonna take calls and we're gonna answer questions. So go to the community post on Marvelous Minds and put a question in there, and hopefully we'll get to it. That aside, thank you everyone for coming back to this live. Appreciate all of you. I think everybody uses everybody. All right, I'll see you guys there.